Jurgens, Junkie, Coyotes win it! South Dakota is back-to-back 7-league tournament champions, and the Coyotes are headed back to the NCAA tournament.
Back again for the Coyote Volleyball Show. We're joined by the head coach of the Coyotes, Leanne Williamson. The volleyball team has won 5 consecutive matches, coming off of a 3-0 trip to UTEP and El Paso, Texas. Coach, heck of a fight for your team down there. Now, you look at it, 2 5-set wins. They've won 3 of their last 5 matches in 5 sets. What's that say about, what's it tell you, I guess, about the heart and the fight of this team?
Yeah, I mean, first, it was a very difficult trip. You know, between the travel and then the amount of time in between games was pretty short, that it was a really difficult tournament. You know, we actually ended up playing 3 matches in 27 hours, 14 sets in 27 hours, which is just actually pretty incredible that we were able to come out on top in all 3 of those matches. But I do think it says a lot about this team and just how they're able to find a way. You know, it's not always about being perfect, and you know, especially with this team, I think we've made that a priority. You know, understanding that things aren't always going to be the feel right, or it's not always going to look the best, and it doesn't have to. We just got to find a way to make plays, whether it's on the defensive end, maybe the serving end, and I feel like they did that at a pretty high level. And I think there's a lot that we could take from this weekend, and some things that we have to continue to get better at. But I think it really does, for a team that is a little bit more inexperienced, and we have some people playing some newer positions. It says a lot about them this early in the season that we've been able to pull those out.
You talk about serving. I believe over the weekend it was 15 ace serves, 7 of which came in that match against UTEP in one of the 5 setters, which was pretty good, obviously. I don't know what's the goal for ace serves in a single match. Obviously, I feel like 15 over 3 matches is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, actually, good question. But aces aren't really a number that we pay too much attention to. We actually pay more attention to just how many times we're serving, and more specifically with which individuals are holding serve the most. So which rotations we feel like we can keep people in more often. And you know, Lolo's been one that has served at a pretty high rate and has served a lot of times. And then Brooklyn Schramm is another one that's up there just in terms of the team overall throughout the season. Obviously, aces are nice. It's not something that we're, you know, trying not to get, but at the same time, that's not necessarily the number that we're looking at. We'd love to have a 1-to-1 ace to error ratio. Would be a number that we would look at with that, though. But more than anything, we just want to hold serve. And in a few of those rotations, we really feel like we should. So when we aren't, it's a number that we look at throughout the match of just, hey, we have to do something different, whether it's serving at a different individual or maybe a little bit of a different blocking scheme throughout that. But yeah, I mean, I'll take 15 aces over the weekend for sure.
You obviously have players step up all over to win matches like this, but it seems like the rotation this year is a little bit different here early in the season, as you still search a little bit for the identity of this team.
Yeah, you know, I think we have a couple key players that are going to continue to step up in big moments. You know, obviously Elizabeth Junkie being one, Madison Harms being another. You know, I think Lolo has been one that has done a lot for our team so far on the defensive end, the service end. But offensively, yeah, we've had different people have to do maybe more in some scenarios. And, you know, I like that we can obviously rely on some of those returners that have had a lot of that experience. But, you know, this weekend we used our depth again. You know, we had Jaden Jondo go in at one point in time because Cameron was struggling for a little bit. And, you know, we went through actually all the outsides at one point, and we kind of found what finally worked, you know, and that's what's going to be good about this team is we have people that can have success in different scenarios. You know, they each have their own identity individually, and it's up to us to kind of figure out how to best utilize, you know, those different people. And, you know, Maddie Johnson was one that this weekend came up and did some really good things for us. We were struggling blocking that side of the court, and she came in and did a pretty good job and took away a little bit more of the space that we needed her to. And for somebody who hadn't gotten that playing time yet, I think it was huge for her to be able to come in and do some things for our team to allow us to have that success. So yeah, I think just this early on in the season, you have to work through that. You got to have some ups and downs with it, and maybe some more errors than what we would like all the time. But that's why we play the way we do. That's why we play the teams that we do, so that we are challenged and we can kind of figure out that identity early on in the season.
When you began coaching at USD as an assistant coach, watching games being played in the Dakota Dome. I don't know if you ever envisioned USD hosting 2 volleyball tournaments in a single season, but this weekend you'll host the second of 2 on the schedule for this week and get the opportunity to play CSU Bakersfield in West Virginia right here in the Sanford Coyotes Sports Center. How big is this for the program?
It's huge. Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it on the head. I'm not sure this was something I would have envisioned, back then. But obviously, the CSC provides that opportunity, and the success that we've had. And honestly, it's a good experience. The people here, our support staff, have made it a good experience for teams coming in, and we love being able to play at home. So it kind of worked out this year in our favor that we were able to host twice. We'd love to be able to continue to do it again. I don't know if it'll happen every single year because scheduling is just it's a chess match sometimes of figuring out how to put everything together, but we're very excited to be back home. We felt like we could fly twice this year because of the fact that we were hosting twice too, so it's huge for us. It's huge for our program. It's great for our fans, and we get to continue to bring high-level volleyball to not only the state of South Dakota but Vermillion itself.
You get those 2 matches on Friday, and then, of course, Saturday to the Pentagon in Sioux Falls. Get to expose to maybe a different group a little bit against Northern Colorado. I know a team that your program has played some really good matches against.
Yeah, we're excited for that match. It's been kind of actually one of our probably favorite matches of the year in some ways, just because of the fact that we get to play at a new place. And even though the Pentagon would technically be considered an away place for us, we make it our home floor, and that's how we treat it, and that's how we feel when we're up there. And looking forward to another great turnout. The atmosphere is incredible up there, and it's going to be a great match. Northern Colorado's had a lot of success early on this season as well, so I expect a pretty high-level game being played, obviously in a different area though.
5 straight wins, now 3 matches coming up this week. What do you want to see out of your group this weekend in the upcoming 3 matches?
I mean, growth. We just, at this point in time, we have to continue to move forward. We have to continue to learn from things that have happened to us, both on the success side and maybe some of the weaknesses that we've been shown. And so we just have to continue to keep getting a little bit better every single day. And I think our team has done that. Yesterday I was a little bit worried about practice, just being right after that road trip. That was difficult, and they came ready to play, and they worked hard, and we got better yesterday. So that's our goal, is just get a little bit better every single day, and going into this weekend now make some of those changes that we feel like we can based on what we saw this past weekend.
Coach, good luck this week. Thanks for the time. As always, good luck this week. Should be a fun week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, the Coyotes will take on CSU Bakersfield on Friday morning right here in the Sanford Coyotes Sports Center before playing West Virginia on Friday night, and then on to Sioux Falls to take on Northern Colorado. For ticket information, go to goyotes.com. For the head volleyball coach, Leanne Williamson, I'm John Thayer. That's it for this week's show. Have a great week, and go Yotes.